All right, I'm here with Coach Oliver, Justin Oliver, new addition
Yes, sir.
to the room here, Buffalo. What brought you here?
Just love for wrestling, man. I finished up school initially and then kind of decided to start a normal job, 9 to 5, started working it, and that crazy part of me came out where I needed to get back to wrestling. You know, it's an addictive sport, so definitely something that I needed to get back to and something that I really enjoy and have a lot of fun with.
So how did you find a fit here with Coach Stutzman?
He's actually friends with my high school coach, so initially I gave him a call just to see if they were looking to hire anybody, and initially they were not, but things kind of fell into place a little bit with Sean getting the job at Edinburgh, and then he gave me a call, and obviously the connection with my high school coach, Roy Hall, kind of came through a little bit, and he knew that I have the drive that he kind of looks to teaching these guys just through having wrestled for Roy Hall. He kind of could tell he's still got that little bit of crazy in me.
So that's twice now you've said crazy.
Yeah.
That's great coming from an athlete and a wrestler.
Yeah.
All other wrestlers get that. Fans might not necessarily get that, but they know that there's something special about the sport.
Yeah.
Tell me what you bring to the room and what your personal touch is with the guys out here on the mat.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing is just being able to kind of go with certain individuals and kind of be able to help them adjust certain moves to fit to their style a little bit better, or maybe help them develop those moves so they'll work against different styles wrestling-wise. I bring kind of a unique perspective to the room as far as wrestling goes. Obviously, I started off at Central Michigan, so we wrestled Buffalo. Every time we would wrestle them, you knew you were in for basically a fist fight on the mat. And my wrestling style is kind of the complete opposite of that, if I'm going to be honest. I would do anything I could not to hand fight, not to be in there banging. I would like to be in space, kind of ducking, bobbing and weaving. And I think just kind of bringing that to the room for some of the guys is going to help them out a lot, just because it gives them another option opposed to just that constant grind and hand fighting. You know, obviously not everybody can do it. Personally, I couldn't. I wasn't quite strong enough for it, and I felt more comfortable out in space. And just kind of talking to some of the guys and working with some of them, you can kind of feel that just having that kind of style to work with too helps them as far as wrestling those guys and trying to emulate that kind of style. Because some matches you got to be able to go in and bang while also kind of get that space, get that separation, and really just kind of wrestle from there. So,
Have you seen any fruits from your labor so far?
hoping so.
Yeah, don't have to name any names, but I'm sure you're creating some gains in a lot of these guys out here.
Yeah.
So without reading too much into the crystal ball, Coach earlier said, you know, I brought these guys in because they want to be head coaches someday.
Yeah.
Is that what you think you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the sport of wrestling. I've wrestled since I was 6 years old, so it's really all I know as far as that goes. And I feel like just having been through it for so long, having so many great coaches help me to get to where I am today, I feel like just kind of being able to pick their brains as I was growing through the sport of wrestling and being able to have them kind of help me grow as an athlete gives me a good perspective into how I'm going to need to coach some of these guys and how I'm going to need to evolve into a head coach, just because the amount of coaches that I've gone through in my entire life. I grew up wrestling with Mark Hall, so his dad would bring in coaches from all over the place. Like we had Mike Klozicki, Kellen Russell, Franklin Gomez, Brent Metcalf, Chase Metcalf, all in a room before I was even like 10 years old. So like just having those people around, having those people teach me when I was younger has helped me really understand how to get through to these guys and kind of understand how I need to approach coaching them.
Think back with me. if you will. We're on the podium. We're an All-American, right? You've talked about physical wrestling from space. You talked about what you're going to bring to the room. Then you just kind of segued into how you're going to be a coach. Think back with me. What's going through your head, and how are you going to bring those thoughts or that action or that memory into this room?
On the podium, it was just pure excitement, pure happiness. I think the biggest thing for me going into that tournament was just where I was at mentally. I was obviously in a very strong position mentally. I was confident. I was thinking the right things. I knew that I was going to be able to push the pace for 7 minutes. I knew that I was going to be able to get to my offense, whether it was in the first minute or whether it was in the 7th minute. I knew that I was going to be able to go out there and execute the way that I wanted to execute. And I mean, as far as making these guys understand that's how they have to feel when it comes to the end of the year, it's just continuously preaching that going throughout the season, everything, it still matters, but it doesn't matter as much. So just go out there and get better, go out there and try new things, go out there and try to figure out how you're going to win matches. And at the end of the day, those who really truly want to win are going to find a way to win, you know? So at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing that I'm going to preach to these guys is just find a way to win no matter what it is, whether you're winning by a point or you're winning by 12. As long as you find a way to win, we'll be happy.
Well, looking forward to seeing how that translates. Looking forward to seeing what that means in dual meets, because I know you guys got a grinder of a schedule of duels. And then, of course, come March, where we have Minneapolis this year in a big old dome, doing wrestling in a football stadium, and love it. But man, we're big fans. Happy to have you aboard. It's great to see young talent not leaving the sport, going into the 9 to 5, like you said. Stay on this mat, man. Stay hungry, and I know it's going to translate for you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.